sure don't.
Oh my goodness. What's up to all of you out there in the Culture Junkie Nation? I'm GQ, joined today by Kenshiro, the Great Dadakuji, and
Mega Sean.
Oh,
nice.
it's a little bit quiet today. Oh,
Mega
hold on.
Sean.
And I would be remiss if I did not say hi to our awesome producer over there.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Simon says, what's up, man? So today we're going to be talking about Ironheart, obviously, because you know Ironheart just wrapped yesterday, rather. And we're going to be talking a little bit about Street Fighter, the movie, or as we call it, the casting nightmare.
What are they doing?
So far.
Like what is this? What is this movie? It's like I just don't understand it.
What are they
I just don't get it.
I mean, we can lead off with that because
Is this going to be a whole WWE thing now? It's like every wrestler is going to be in this movie?
yeah, that's what
That's
it feels
what it seems
like.
like.
Yeah, it's feeling like this is turning into WWE the movie. You got Roman Reigns in it. You got potentially Cody Rhodes
First of
in
all,
it.
How do you feel about Roman Reigns being Akuma? Like, please tell us.
I'm very much I will see it and see what happens. That's just weird to me as a casting though. Only because Akuma is supposed to be about the same height as Ryu and Ken. He's supposed to be right in their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns is like 6'3", 6'4",
On a good day.
maybe even close to 6'5". Now he's a little bit shorter
that's
than
not
The
a
Rock.
bad thing if you think about it.
It's not again.
Towering.
I don't. But you got to remember, in Hollywood, everybody's short.
Well, yeah, I know.
So it's who's gonna be Zangief then?
Right. Okay. So to your point, right? If he's supposed to be the same size as Ryu Ken,
Basically,
how tall is Andrew Koji? Anybody know? Like right off rip?
He's not that tall.
Oh, he ain't that
he
tall.
ain't tall.
Okay.
He gotta
Okay.
be
So he's gonna be
5'7",
towering
5'8".
over Ryu. Oh,
Hey,
okay.
why not?
And he's not a large person either.
No, he is not. No, he is not.
it's gonna be a very
And Ryu was solid.
All of them are solid.
Yeah.
Like all of them are impossibly solid the way it's done. Big
He's
Cream says he's 5'11".
5'11".
5'11" is not bad.
It's not
And,
almost 6
That ain't 6'6", 6'7".
And to me,
Well,
he would have been a no-brainer for Philon.
Yeah, true. That's true.
But
Yeah.
then to make him, you know,
Who's
I
being Sagat?
don't know who's.
You know what?
there
Braun
you go.
Strowman.
You know what?
Braun Strowman's going to be Sagat? No, I'm just saying. They might as well be.
I can see it.
They might as well.
Yeah. I can see it. All right, so okay, so Street Fighter the movie. Let's run down who we know for sure. There's a pretty young lady playing Chun-Li.
That was the easy cast.
That was
though.
easy.
That's the easy cast.
Easy money.
Roman Reigns is definitely a little bit taller than me,
So
for sure.
yeah, so
6'3" is-
so we know
yeah.
there's a pretty young lady playing Chun-Li. That's easy money. Andrew Koji's playing Ryu.
King Cam, what's going on?
Oh, King Cam and other Steve.
Yeah,
So
the
Steve
other
What's going
is
on,
on.
other Steve?
We know that Jason Momoa is playing Blanka.
Yeah, they going to paint him green?
They said they will.
Whoa.
What?
I don't even understand that one.
Yeah. Is he going to be Charlie Nash?
I hope not, because that'll be going off the continuity of the one from '94.
Oh, okay.
You missed it, the big one. 50 Cent's supposed to be Balrog.
50 Cent is going to be Balrog, right? Dustin Dastalmachian is going to be M. Bison. So when I saw that yesterday, and I put that in the chat, and I told y'all, I was like, what is this movie? Like, this man is practically the spitting image of Raul Julia in some way, shape, and form, right? As far as like his face, and he's skinny, kind of like Raul Julia was. Are they really trying to make this like the '94 Street Fighter movie?
I think they're doing something wacky because,
They have to be.
as they call him, anti-woke Andrew Schultz is supposed to be Dan.
Oh, yeah. Right. I forgot about that.
You know Dan, right?
Dan Hibiki?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Andrew Schultz is a Jewish man. Dan Hibiki is Japanese.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Well, the casting is never going to be exactly to their different nationalities and their different ethnicities.
No, they could get it right if they really wanted to.
That's the thing. I don't think they want to.
When we first learned of this a week or two ago, and I told y'all once we saw who Balrog was, that everything was questionable. And that's not and that's not a shot at 50, but 50 is 50. And at least. And it none of it and since we've learned of him being Balrog, this murderer's row of casting has been actually has been consistent with his casting.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what it could be. Like I don't even know what it could be. Like just thinking about it, like best foot forward. Like what could they do?
Look, I got two things. First off, Han says, something about, wanting to be entertaining. Yes, that's what we look forward to. For sure. Because we're not going to take it serious. We're more than likely going to take it as how the other Street Fighter movie is now. And now that we're older and, for me, less opinionated, maybe, that it's not really going to matter to me. Maybe.
What
is maybe.
What if
less
it's like
opinionated?
that?
You guys may not be. I think I definitely
Less
am.
opinionated? I don't know. Well, yeah, you for sure.
Most
yes,
definitely
you for
I
sure.
am.
You're go along. No, I don't want to.
I want to be
that's wrong.
entertained.
That's wrong to say you're go along to get along because that's not right.
Look, I want to be
that.
entertained. There have been movies I've watched where I felt like, you know what, I'm not too sure if I like this because it's like a feeling, but I can explain to most people who don't like movies. They just that's trash. They can't explain why they like it.
True.
Or they try to use the blanketed statements. It's poor writing. It's like, motherfucker, you ain't wrote a paper since you were in 4th grade. You don't even know how to
And it
write
probably
a
wasn't
paper.
even good then.
I don't want to hear that poor writing bullshit because you don't even know what poor writing is. I do want to be entertained, of course. That's 100% true. So, like, I'm looking for the shenanigans that's going to come out of it because
It could
That would be
like
funny though.
a movie that nobody thought was gonna go anywhere.
yeah.
And that Chip and Dale movie that came out
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
with the Rescue Rangers?
a couple of years ago.
Nobody. That was a good.
That was
who did
really
they have?
good.
Sneaky Pete, wasn't that the
Yeah.
Peter Pan who was
had
selling
damn near
bootlegs?
everybody.
So maybe it's gonna be something of that area to
Yeah.
where those are the characters, but they are completely different than what we could have imagined them to do.
I hear that, right? But Simon says when you heard the news today, the reports that the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes was being cast as Guile.
That motherfucker better had hair. That's all I gotta say.
What do you say to that?
He needs to like Megashawn need to get him in the gym and like get his arms like really like swole because like dude his new what is it, Street Fighter 6? Yeah, he was hitting
Beefy.
arm days.
Yeah, beefy.
He did not miss. He not skip arm days. That's what he did not.
This is the Chip and Dale movie. This is because nobody thought anything of it, and the movie was great.
Yeah.
So there's no way who's ever is doing the casting, they have to know that no one is looking at this casting
Seriously.
and
No one's
going,
taking this seriously.
right,
Yes.
But the writing could be there. They could, as GQ said, I have to see it.
So, like Marcus A64 is 1,000% correct. Guile is going to have a lisp.
Wait, Cody Rhodes has a list?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I ain't never heard a man
Yes,
talk
he's
really.
got
Oh,
a
no.
lisp.
He
Yeah,
it's
Does he
there.
have Invisalign or does he
Yeah,
genuinely
yeah.
have a
I
lisp?
don't know.
He straight got a list
Oh,
for real.
okay.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
I mean, his daddy had a list, though.
He did.
But it worked like
It
that.
worked for him.
but
Because
it
it was
worked for
Southern.
him.
It was Southern. So they overlooked that, because he had that Georgia Southern hospitality type thing going for him.
They said that he stole that persona from a black man who was also a wrestler.
Oh, I can see that.
Of course he did.
Yeah, I can see that.
100%.
Of course he did. 100%, I can see
Back in
that.
the day, you know that's how that happened.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
as far as the Street Fighter movie goes, like anything, I'm gonna go see it. We're all gonna go see it because it's like it's either gonna be a train wreck or, like you said, it might be a sleeper hit, wonderful, crazy
year.
thing.
Yeah.
Next
So
year.
who knows? Because one thing that they cannot fail on, because we're in the age now, every special move better be done.
Yeah.
It's like no
I better
trying to
not see
sugar.
this.
Yeah. I
Like,
want all the special moves to actually be special moves the way they're supposed to be, because we're way past. 94 was like what, 30 years ago?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's like we're way past 30 years. Hard to believe that the girl played Chun-Li still looks good though.
Ming Na Wen?
Like
Absolutely,
that's
yeah.
insane.
Real quick,
I think she's a vampire.
Could be.
before we change the subject, could you all imagine Jason Momoa and a damn ball rolling across the screen, hitting his enemies?
I hope to see it.
I want to see it.
Hope to
That's
see
what
it.
I'm telling you.
I don't care how they got to do it. They got. I want to see it.
My man has been on a roll, Jason Momoa. You think about it
Has he?
yeah.
run.
So hear me out, right?
Okay.
So in a less than decade span, this man will have played Lobo, Blanka, and Aquaman. Now, like, 3 characters that have damn near nothing in common when you think about it. And whoever the hell he played in Minecraft. Let's not forget that. So Jason Momoa is like, I don't give an F, about nothing.
So he's the new Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Sure. I guess you could.
Because Christopher Walken was famous for he would read the script and take the role. Like Christopher Walken, very rarely turned stuff down.
Yeah, he said Christopher Walken, he only turned stuff down if he had a prior engagement.
Yep.
Samuel Jackson apparently is the same way. He take every role. You offer him a role, he's taking it.
Right,
but does the work.
But these guys can also
act.
Yeah.
Once I hear Blanka go, yeah. That's what
he just needs to say my man.
You know what's going on.
My man.
You know what's coming. You know what's coming.
No.
Yeah, you know what's coming. But okay, so as an aside, last thing I'm gonna ask, and for all of you out there, and especially for UGQ, because I know you're big in the Street Fighter lore. I think in a way, I think you are as well. I have been. Simon says you are too. Does this appearance of them making a mockery of Street Fighter lore, does that bother you?
No, because we still have to this day the best animated Street Fighter anything. In Street Fighter the animated movie. Yeah. Like that still is the golden standard for me for a translation of a video game to anime.
Ironically, was that or was that not 1994? Was that 1992?
It was like right before.
I think it was 94 when it first came out in Japan.
Yeah. So
we
94. So the same year that we got our American live action, they had that excellence over
I
there.
believe so. Because we didn't get it till 96.
Yeah, we got it after the fact.
95 or 96.
No, it was definitely 95 because even when I was in college at the time, because the movie, the live action movie came out the same year I first went to college, and right within that same time period, because I was in Virginia, I had, along with some of the other fellas in the dorm, we had the straight Japanese version of that film. So we obviously didn't know we knew what was going on because the story, but we didn't, had no translation, no subtitles, no nothing.
I had an opportunity to rent it. Because the video store my dad used to take us to had Japanese stuff on it, and I remember picking up the back of it, and they clearly showed Chun-Li's titties there, but it was all in Japanese, and I was just like,
"Ooh, Chun-Li's naked." Hello.
Well, no, I just saw it, but I put it back because I was not at the time to wanting to read subtitles. I was like, if it's subtitled, my subtitle reading when I was 13 years old, it wasn't that fast.
I get you.
It is fast now. You blink and you're reading it.
And the worst part is, by putting that down, you didn't get to see that version of it for another 10 years.
It was a while.
Because they had 2 versions that came out over in the United States. It was a yellow box version, which is censored, and a red box version, which is still censored because the Chun-Li thing wasn't in there. They glossed over that. So they didn't really release the true uncensored version, I think, until like 2005 or something, DVD or something like that.
2 questions.
Yes.
The Chun-Li thing is the shower before the Vega fight.
Yes.
And then the other question, you were in college in the 90s?
Yeah.
I'm old.
He said, damn. He did a Kevin Hart.
Damn.
And he's like, damn.
I'm sorry.
Hey, that's okay. I was in college in the 90s.
I know. I don't look my age.
Right.
I'm proud of that.
I was in college in the 90s, so.
Technically, I would have been in college in the 90s had I gone right after high school. But so I would have been, but I didn't go right after.
So Marcus Aces 4, to wrap this one up, he says, how deep into the Street Fighter lore do you think they will go into it, since most casual fans mostly know Street Fighter 2? Go ahead.
It's going to be based off of Street Fighter 6. Bet money. It's not going to be based off of Street Fighter 1.
Yeah.
Not going to be 2. It's going to be off the most current one, which is 6.
And then, this is how they can make it. Did y'all like Scott Pilgrim?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If they get the fight choreographer for Scott Pilgrim, because anybody that can make Michael Cera look competent in martial arts, and these guys are world-class athletes.
Yeah.
We got flash kicks, we got Hadoukens, we got tiger uppercuts coming left and right.
Uppercut.
So it's got great potential. But I'm saying that as it's gonna be like that Chip and Dale movie, which everybody had low expectations.
It was excellent,
and it was
awesome.
It was excellent.
All right, Simon says, "What's your thoughts on it?" We close it out.
No, I mean, like I agree. It's gonna be probably like Street Fighter 6, and I'm guessing Omos will be Sagat.
Who? Omas.
Oh,
Who the hell is
that guy that's
Big, huge
the social
Nigerian
media guy.
wrestler.
Oh,
Yeah, he's like 7'2".
Yeah, he's big.
But he's
big.
Nigerian.
Yeah, well.
oh. I mean, hey, that's okay. But
I'm
there's that.
joking.
Have you seen that guy that's on Instagram, right? That kickboxer guy that cosplays as a guy. He's
I
he's super
thought
big
that
and
was
beefy
AI.
and stuff like that.
I think so.
Oh no, that's a real guy.
Holy shit!
No, that's a real guy. So they should get him.
He's not that tall. I mean, not as okay.
Not
he's
as
not
Andrew
tall.
Koji, like-
he's not as tall as Sagat. Sagat's supposed to be like 7 foot.
Yes, it's got a 7'5".
Yeah,
Right, but if
7'5".
But if he's taller than the guy that's 6'3", then he's 7'5".
Movie magic, baby.
Right.
Movie
The
magic.
low angles, they'll make him look a lot
Movie
taller
magic.
than he
They might
actually
be able
is.
to fix
Because
it.
don't
I mean-
forget, I mean, remember who was Sagat in the '94 one? West
Yeah.
Studio.
well,
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
He was like what, half an inch
He was
taller
like,
than Ryu?
I'm a businessman. I don't fight.
Yeah, no.
So craziest thing
goodness,
ever.
man.
All right, cool. So that's Street Fighter. Speaking of something from 30 years ago, they just announced, I think it was 2 days ago, that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first one, is coming back in the theaters for a re-release
Yep.
with extra special footage. What are your memories of that movie, and are you going to go see this in movie theaters again?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Did
you see it the first time?
Listen, man. Listen.
I'm just asking, bro.
You got about 2 more times to insult me, and we're gonna have to rearrange these mics, my brother.
Okay.
Yes, and nothing but the fondest of memories, and I believe if my own that and Tombstone to this day are probably 2 of the movies that I can still quote word for word, almost beginning to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Legendary.
Okay.
Legendary.
Okay.
Hey, that's me.
And
That's me.
that ain't you. That little itty bitty muscle man right there. No, that's not you. That is not you. But are you?
I made it. It is me.
That's not you. Anyway, are you going to go see it in the theater again, or will you take young Sosa to see it for like the experience?
As Okoye told her, without question, I will be there day one.
Okay, gotcha.
Wait, when does it drop?
August 16th or 17th.
We should all go. Because I mean, again, we all we all grew up with that.
Okay.
Theater thing, so you got to
That's
find
fine.
a way to plan.
Quick question.
Fathom Events is at almost all of them.
Quick question.
You see the little brother.
Yeah,
He
you're right.
knows a
Yeah.
lot.
He knows.
And the disrespect. He knows. Because I made him watch it 1,000 times.
Hey, that's fine. Quick question. I know you saw it. Where'd you go see it at? Americana or Northwest?
I saw it at Americana, and I also saw it at. I remember we were doing a field trip to the mall and school, and the whole point of I'll make this quick. Whole point of the trip was to spend $1,000. Not for real, just like it was a math project or whatever. Spend $1,000, as close to $1,000 as you could, including tax, without going over. So I was like, I already had all this figured out the night before. So it was like me and these other guys are like, we're going to go watch Turtles. So we just went and watched Turtles while everybody else is going around the mall trying to shop and fake shop and all that. I was just like, yeah, we're going to. So we're just in there watching Turtles because it was like, dude, I already got this figured out. It's
Well
like
done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you something. Sorry if I'm interrupting.
You're
No,
not.
go ahead.
You're
But
not.
I remember my cousin told me, he's like, man, they're making a live action Turtles movie. And I didn't say bullshit, but that was my response.
That's pretty much
Like,
it.
man, get the fuck out of here. We ain't making a live action Turtles movie. He's like, man, I saw the trailer for it. I'm like, man, come on. Of course, I got egg on my face. Because there was that live action. That movie was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
They couldn't even. Oh my gosh! As enjoyable as the second one was, which I had fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
Not even close as the first one. And the third one, they can kick that one to outer space.
Why even do that?
Yeah.
Why even talk
Why
about
Why even talk about it?
Anything past the number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
They didn't even like Kevin Eastman and what you call it. They didn't like number 2 at all, and they were trying to make number 3 better.
Which is
but the
weird.
studio got in the way for a lot.
Oh yeah,
of
no,
stuff.
the studio got in the way completely because that was at the time before Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Blair Witch knocked it off the throne. That was the highest grossing independent movie ever.
Indeed.
So for me, the second movie was the most like the old cartoon.
Yeah.
In live action form, like even more so
That was their whole
than the
point.
first
absolutely,
movie.
but that was
which
why
I enjoyed.
But that's why they didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Because the first one
I
was
get
more
it.
like
No,
their
I get it.
comic.
I get it too, but
It was more
whatever.
like their idea.
Right.
Right.
And then the third one was just trash.
Yeah.
So-
100%.
I watched the third one on HBO. Didn't go see it in the movie.
Me neither.
I don't think any of us saw that in the theater.
So yeah. So, but when I saw
That's
it on HBO,
Yoshi. He said, "My God, who's your tailor?" That boy said, "We're naked."
Oh my goodness.
yeah.
My little brothers used to watch that one.
I didn't know no better because I was young, but I halfway enjoyed Turtles 3, but I know I didn't like it better than Turtles 2 and 1.
Did you
I
see
knew
that
that.
fucking costumes look terrible?
No, I didn't. No, I get that.
Everything
I get that.
about it was bad.
Yeah, right,
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and switch over to a man I know didn't like Turtles 3. Go ahead, sir.
I didn't like it, but I did go see it in the theaters.
Oh my God!
You should have been like,
At the time, I was like still in the whole turtle craze, so I wanted to go see it.
Yeah.
So you begged
It
mom and
did-
dad to go take you to see it, huh?
No,
You just went by yourself? You didn't drag little brother with you?
Me and Waffles went to go see it. I think my cousin went to. We all went to go see it, and then we were left. It was like
Who's
This
we
was
all?
bad.
Who's we all? Who else was in your little crew?
my cousins, Waffles. That was pretty much the crew at the time, and I was like, "Damn, this movie was bad."
Yeah.
There you go.
You should be like, Ali was like, I didn't like it.
Right. I mean, at least you knew you didn't like it.
Right,
The
right.
third movie was just, and the worst part is, as a concept, I'm like, they're gonna go to Japan. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is gonna be great. And then
Did you know about the time travel part?
No, I didn't. No, the trailer lets you know that.
Okay,
Even
okay,
the TV
okay,
spots
okay,
and all
yeah,
that. They were
yeah.
showing the magic lantern, which they showed in that the CGI turtles. They had it in the background, which is cool. I mean, I
So
get
they're
this.
saying all that stuff is canon.
Yeah, keeping all that stuff canon. But to me, the first Turtles was an event, and the fact that they got it to work, and the tone that they had.
Oh yeah.
Raphael still being hardcore the way he was, as close as you could get with, a children's property by that point. And then, like I said, there were things about the second one I liked. The choreography was cool. I'm not gonna lie, the Ninja Rap song was actually catchy as hell. So it's like, like whatever.
Yeah, with Vanilla Ice. Yeah.
So I will definitely go back and see the original because, matter of fact, this and Barry Gordy's Last Dragon are both coming back in theaters.
Oh
this year.
wow.
So
We
I'm
definitely
gonna
gotta go see that.
Both
Yes,
of those.
Both of those. Yes.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Like from a studio standpoint, what made them think, the first one was great, so in the second one, less martial arts, and then in the third one,
Both of these guys know, but go ahead.
less martial arts? Was that because 7-year-olds was spin kicking?
That's
Partially.
one of
That's
them.
part of it.
But they
That's
didn't
part
want
of it.
the stupid parents groups didn't want them using their weapons because you got a katana and all that. That's why they didn't use their weapons and all that stuff.
If your 10, 11, 12-year-old son is somehow able to come home with a katana,
Look, I'm gonna
the
tell you something.
studio isn't the issue.
Two things.
Exactly.
Me and my brother used to take our mom's the freaking curtain rods and fucking sword fight with those goddamn things.
Right, yes.
This motherfucker used to take the attachments and chase me around the house because he was acting like he was fucking low pan. Was like, that's low pan. That's not. Nobody, Mr. Burton, didn't throw that shit at me, and I wasn't trying to catch it and throw it back at him.
That's called ingenuity.
But yeah,
Yes, the imagination.
So our mom, I won't say encouraged it, but Nerf came out with swords. So she bought us the Nerf swords instead of using our curtain rods.
Exactly.
Where you got these other moms that be like, no, you're not going to have my son out there doing blah, blah, blah. I don't want to see it in the cartoon. Because that's what they were doing. Do you know why Michelangelo stopped using nunchucks in the cartoon?
Because of
Parents
that, because of children.
The parents groups.
No, it's not just the parents groups. It's because of fucking Britain. Over in Britain, nunchucks were
Are
illegal
illegal,
because of the 60s and 70s when the fucking martial arts movies were getting big.
So they
And
gave him a-
they make the nunchucks illegal.
So they gave him a grappling hook?
Yep.
That's why. So it's always these people who are parents. Not a parent can't say nothing about being a parent because parents know what's best for their kids.
I'm a parent.
They know what the
I
best.
didn't give a damn, and
Yeah,
my kids turned out just fine.
And a lot of parents' kids turn out fine because they're either A, observing their kids, or B, they
Correct.
know their kids. They're not going to be like, there are
Correct.
parents out there that don't give a
100%.
shit. And these kids are fucking wild as shit.
Well, it's because their parents don't watch them.
Because, like, my parents, I don't like to say they weren't there. They were a little bit like spiders. They made sure we were fed, and they made sure that we were alive.
That's what they're supposed to do.
And that's pretty much it.
But when it came to other stuff, I entertained myself.
Survival
I
of
taught
the-
myself.
survival
I
of
did
the
all that.
fittest.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
My mom's
yeah.
like, you're old enough that you gotta wash your own clothes. I got to the
Or-
point where I was making my own food.
Would they push you out the door or lock the door behind you?
I paid rent when I graduated high school. Remember how I said I didn't go to fucking college afterwards? She said you either go to school or you get a job. And I didn't directly go to school. I had a job and I was paying fucking rent in my mama's house until I moved the fuck out.
So these studios
listen to those groups.
They've ruined a great movie.
Yes.
TMT.
Yeah.
They've ruined a great cartoon and the Marvel. What was that Marvel? The great Marvel cartoon that got ruined so they could sell toys.
X-Men.
Great Marvel cartoon. I got
somewhat Avengers.
Oh yeah, Marvel's Avengers, Earth Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah.
No,
Same thing with the.
Are you
Green
talking about
Lantern.
the early Avengers?
No.
The one that came out like
Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But the Green Lantern cartoon had the same thing.
They did.
How,
Yeah, they
how,
did. So the Young
how,
Justice.
how do they continue to get? You have a money printing factory. You allow parents that can't watch their kids to get in the way, and then you allow, hey, let's sell some toys.
Well, at the bottom line, the cartoons to them are vehicles to sell toys.
Yeah.
Just like it, because that was the formula.
Speaking of toys, then get with Nerf, make some safe bow staff, safe nunchucks.
They have that now.
Well, yeah,
they
no,
have
what
it
I'm
now.
saying, that would have been the thinking then.
You have to remember, at the time, TV and advertisement, toys, granted, made money without a doubt.
Sure.
But TV and advertisement dollars was where it was at for a lot of those networks and a lot of so once you get parents groups putting pressure on the network's going to put pressure on the content creators, and that unfortunately is it rolls downhill.
It's always the board getting
Absolutely,
away somewhere.
absolutely,
always
because
the
it's
board.
like I'm going to be 100% real. My first pair of swords was given to me by my parents at 14, so it's like dude,
My
like
cousin gave me some nunchucks, and they
Right,
were
that's-
real nunchucks.
that's what I'm saying. Like
I almost killed my
I'm
little brother with them.
I'm saying like there were always like all of the turtles' weapons. All of the turtles' weapons I grew up with in the household because my brothers had nunchucks when I was young.
They had
so I
size
used to
too?
bust myself in the head with their nunchucks trying to use them. So it's like we had all of that stuff. So it's just like
so you had size, throwing stars, and
yeah, I had
both
all
styles
of
too?
that stuff because again, we grew up in a Bruce Lee.
Correct.
Kung Fu theater household.
Correct.
So it's like, bro, like all of that stuff is around for me to play with at a young age. So I had to get good with it. So it's just like, I understand most parents aren't like that. I get that. But we all grew up, all of us, everybody on this show grew up at a time when the parents were like, go outside and play.
Kind of like do your own thing.
Yeah, do your own thing. Get out of my house. Get out of my hair.
It's like you're not going to shoot yourself because we're not going to give you a loaded gun. It's like if you fall off your bike, get your ass back up.
You had some close stuff because you had those cap guns, and I remember.
Oh, no doubt.
Man.
No doubt.
Yes.
My dumbass had a
cap
cap
gun.
grenade. And then I was curious because I took the cap
Wait a
and I
minute.
took it and I bit it and it blew my lip up.
And again,
Dumbass kid.
No,
Kids are stupid.
you're still here though.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Living, you learn.
We've all done goofy stuff without
Yeah.
a doubt, like experimenting and trying dumb stuff. But even with as lethal as some of that stuff can, because again, a lot of toys we had were
For sure.
deadly as hell. Lawn darts of all of them.
Yeah.
The original lawn, because I still
know.
have a couple. Those are the scariest things that we were allowed to play with, but we're all still here.
Pointy
My
ends.
buddy, who I grew up on my street with, I'm not going to put his name out there because I don't know if we want to. We were playing lawn darts in his backyard, and I threw that bitch because we were supposed to, and he was behind the spot where he was supposed to land. That hit him right in the fucking ankle.
Woo.
Impaled.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, them things are dude. It's gravity and a piece of metal that don't care. It's just, I'm going to stick myself into something.
Yep.
Man.
Lawn darts were no joke.
Yeah.
I understand why they outlawed those, because it's like the idea of it is like, bro, we're literally throwing like spikes at each other, basically that are weighted and have wings on the back to make them go down faster. It's like,
I did change it up though. Where
Oh,
now
no.
it was just like a heavy weight at the end, but it was still shaped the same, so it acted exactly the same. But just hurt a little bit, not impel.
You got to learn to get the hell out the way.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, we grew up at a time where it's just like, look, man, we're not going to hold your hands with all of this stuff. You got to figure out some stuff on your own. I think that's definitely one thing that's missing in today's society with
many
a
kids are
lot of
sheltered
stuff. It's
nowadays.
like the
Yeah,
sheltering
100%.
is disgusting.
Yeah,
All right, we'll have to see. Simon says any last words before we move on?
I'm good.
You good?
Sure. He's like deer in the headlights there, man.
You sure?
The camera came up. He's like, oh. like he being held hostage.
I'm not sleeping. I'm not sleeping.
No, I'm wait. Well,
Oh man! All right, so as we move into, I guess what would be the last, because this is probably going to take a lot of discussion.
oh yeah.
The last part of Ironheart, the 6 episodes run, is finished. Finished yesterday. What's everybody's thoughts on it? I personally had fun with it, but I'll let y'all go.
Before we get into that,
Yes, sir.
They got a new shirt.
New shirt.
It's hard to see it.
Slight spoiler.
Closer.
Yeah, get in front. Get in front of the. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You want a shirt like that, baby?
Oh my god. That was great, by the way. No, that was great, by the way. The Mephisto's Chicago style pizza. If you want one, just let us know. Drop a
And
message.
if you didn't watch it and you spoiled, that's your fault.
That's it's literally an original design that we just that our in-house graphic designer came up with today. We pressed it. This is a prototype, but we will make them available. If you want one, just let us know.
Hold on, Cameron. He said very lucky to still have eyes with those things. Definitely had to be smart and get out of the way.
Yeah,
absolutely. Londar's
Yeah,
great
100%.
man.
He knows because he was my little brother. Either get out the way or face the consequences.
Yeah,
That's right. All right, so Ironheart as 6 episodes. This show is, like I said last week, is not without its flaws. I had issues with a lot of it, but I thought for the most part it was solid enough. It's not the best MCU show because that's still, in my opinion, WandaVision. It's definitely not the worst MCU show.
And that is?
Secret Invasion.
Okay.
Secret Invasion is the
Secret
worst thing
Invasion
I've ever
was
seen
literally-
ever.
Wow.
Yes.
It could have been so
Yes!
much
Is that
better.
because of the books were close to you?
No. That's because the show
was
is
the
bad.
execution. It was
The
the
show is
execution.
really bad, man.
Maybe
That's-
because I didn't watch all the episodes. So maybe
No, the
that's
show
it.
The
should have been.
show is bad.
They should have
dude.
broken the show up into like pieces instead of just like they
Going on
should have
Dragon.
like that should have been like last or something or made into a movie. That's
Well, they
that's my
shot
take.
it as a
I don't
fucking movie.
know what happened
That's
with
the
Secret
show with
Invasion.
Don Cheadle in the
Yeah.
end, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Don
Cheadle's in
Cheadle,
it.
Samuel
Yeah,
L.
yeah.
Jackson.
Sam Jackson's in it.
You had
I know.
the what's my girl, Dragon Girl, with the hey, look at my pecs, my arms. You don't remember Dragon Girl?
at the end of the
What the hell?
Kira. Not Kira.
what I'm talking
Khaleesi, Daenerys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she plays
Daenerys
her.
Targaryen. Yeah.
Yeah, coming out
Amelia
with
Clark. Yeah.
Hey, Amelia Clark. Look at you.
Yeah, you know, she had the guns, like she had the Drax guns. Like what? Like anyway. Dude, the show was bad. The show was really bad. From beginning to end, it was bad. It's still like it's better to me than Moon Knight. And I know a lot of people liked Moon Knight a lot. I did not. I had a lot of problems with it. But Ironheart I thought was really good. But to me, the best things about Ironheart were the chances that it took with Riri as a character, decisions she made, controversial or not. They broke every type of Marvel trope, like broke every convention. Like you think you can pick up on where the story is going to go because the Marvel quote unquote blueprint formula, whatever. This didn't have that.
What about as a show?
As a show, there was a lot of aspects of it that didn't work fully well.
No, I'm saying you said Marvel wise it was unpredictable, but as someone who watches television, as yourself, were you thrown off?
By the end, yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
I was.
Well, I haven't.
Wait, so you didn't watch the last one?
No, I got.
Oh, okay.
had
So
to fix my
when you
phone.
watch that, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Hold on. What part did you get to?
Yeah.
4, and then my
The
phone.
beginning of 4?
The last thing I saw, she had was out of White Castle, and
So you're in the middle of her understanding and consequences part. So everything that
well
we was
possible.
discussing.
right.
Okay, so-
That's what. But then
Uh-huh.
So for what you know, what real quick, show aside, if your Instagram app keeps crashing, delete the app and add it back on your phone if it's an iPhone. Because if you do not, it will just shut your phone down.
Oh, drain your battery.
No,
Your
just,
Instagram app is fucking your phone up.
Yeah, like it just crashed the phone. Like the phone wasn't off, but it was off. You know
That's
what I
weird.
mean? Like it was just.
Which
Yeah,
phone
that's
do you
weird.
have?
This the I don't know 14 Pro Max. But what's crazy is
Might be time to upgrade.
But I went to the app to upgrade I went to the App Store to upgrade Instagram, and there was no update. But when I when I had deleted the app and added it back,
all of a
completely
sudden.
new Instagram I had.
So are you sure that's Instagram that you have on there? You got something
no.
else?
okay.
I'm positive.
Little bit of tech support from Meg Sean.
But yeah,
Anyway,
just, you know,
but go
that's
ahead.
what I was
Yeah,
saying. But
yeah.
yeah, so So I was
So-
asking you. So as a show, were you? Well, you said at the end you were caught off guard a
Oh,
little.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you, when you get to episode 6, this man,
Very
Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto. Oh man, that was that was one of the better performances I've ever seen.
He's always been talented.
Him as Mephisto was great.
Well, he's always been talented.
Great.
Always.
Saying that man was supposed to be in the Marvel stuff since WandaVision.
Very nice.
He's man, look. Imagining him in WandaVision now would have made that show even better.
It would have been better.
Would it have made Agatha all along better?
Yes.
Dude,
yes.
I think they should. Zelma.
She was excellent.
Yes.
I love her.
Very much so. But I felt like they could have.
The little girl with the glasses?
Yes. They definitely could have linked that with Agatha somehow. Like with her mom knowing them or something like that.
Could have been part of that crew or something.
Something.
Yeah,
except I know they didn't do that because they wanted to kill all the witches or something like that. But it's just.
And also, where was Agatha set? From location, like where did it start off?
It was the same city where WandaVision.
So technically, it was. I think you would say it was set probably after Multiverse of Madness because she knew Wanda was dead.
No. I understand that. I'm talking about location wise, like from a physical.
Yeah, it's
in Westview,
from Chicago.
In Westview,
But what they could have did is like the one that survived. I think I forget her name.
Yeah, the black lady.
She could have like called her up. Could have been
true.
Like
yeah.
And that's fair.
A little bit of cohesion. But if you think about it,
we didn't need it.
But if you think about it though, remember Ironheart was shot 3 years ago. Agatha was shot sooner than that. Yeah, it was shot after that. So they couldn't do any of that.
It does not feel like it was 3 years ago.
No, it doesn't.
I said it because it feels like a real show as opposed to those other ones.
To the Hand Up Omega point, Hand Up Omega's post. Mm-hmm. That has been my issue, as I told y'all previously. And granted, I'm only at episode 4, but to me, she is, like I said, I'm not blaming the actress, but as a character, like beyond, to me, unlikable, annoying. And again, I know that's how they wrote her. It just bothers me, like, why?
I'm gonna tell you
what. Let's get to that. Let's get to that.
We were talking about that earlier. And one of the things is she's smart, but she's dumb at the same time.
For sure.
And what I mean by that, she's she's technologically smart, but she is making a lot of dumb decisions.
Right.
You see that, unfortunately, by a lot of young people where they'll do dumbass stuff. Like instead of going through school and getting their education, doing their stuff, they want to take the easy way out, make this bread and do decisions that.
But that's survival, though.
Some of that is also youthful arrogance.
Yeah, it's also
sure.
yes. So it's both. But for her, it is survival because she's not making the money that she needs to do what she has to get done. One of her suits, she even said in the thing, if I remember correctly, cost like over $1 million. Where'd she get $1 million from?
So
her grant was doing stuff.
So then, respectfully, shut it the fuck down and figure out another hobby.
That's what a lot of people are saying online.
I'm just saying, based on the price of the suit. Based on the price of the suit, like what are we doing here?
In real life, that's what I would do. Because I would have come up with cars that converted that flying cars.
Exactly.
But that's real life.
But remember,
she's selfish.
And we know he would have bombed. He would have bombed the city.
Yeah.
3 times.
But that's
over.
the thing. She's selfish in her way of thinking. She's doing stuff for her because she wants to, because she can.
But she's dealing with no. But part of that is she's dealing with her trauma.
That also.
She's dealing with her trauma. And what you're talking about is exactly kind of the stuff that her mom is going to call her to the carpet for in the very next episode, right? Because she's going to say, your obsession with this suit.
But she was already told that.
No. She was, but she's not going to listen because she's still obsessed and because she's dealing with her trauma. You two had this nice, interesting back and forth in the group chat, and that touches on that.
Yeah. I'm going to say you need to finish watching the thing because she ain't done making dumb fucking decisions.
No question.
She's going to make one of the biggest, dumbest decisions.
And Hand Over Mega's point, Stark, it was the same.
Stark did make a bunch of dumb
choices. Ultron was the ultimate dumb mistake.
Yeah. You have to remember, at least the way they are portraying it, these geniuses get blinders on when they set a particular goal of something they want to do. Because look at, like with Riri. Okay, I want to be better than Stark, Pym, and all these other people that she named off. And she, obviously did the suit and everything. You have to remember, from her position, she was a genius from a very young age.
For sure.
Because she even said it in the first episode, I have teachers trying to teach me stuff that I have to basically teach them.
Yeah.
When you're that advanced, things are too easy. They're just way too easy. She needs a challenge. Nothing challenges her at her normal age range, at her normal level. There's a scene coming up in there. You'll see she doesn't even really know how to have fun like a kid. You'll see it. You'll see it in one of the upcoming episodes. So to me, they did a very good job expressing that level of, this life is boring as hell. Nothing challenges me. This is the only thing that gives me any type of comfort, any type of excitement is building this suit. So if that's been her whole life, her formative years, all the way up to her teen years, obsessing over that, like Dido said, she's going to make some real dumb mistakes because she doesn't know how to be a normal person. Stark, very much the same way with a lot of what we saw with Iron Man. He started off in this company with his family company. We make bombs and missiles and weapons and whatnot. It did not take until he got injured by one of his own weapons and then saw the oppression that his weapons were causing around the world that it's like,
for him to understand. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
This is a
Something's up. I need to switch this up. I need to change this.
Yeah.
So, so it's like, and again, he's had tunnel vision as to, I'm making the best next big bomb, next big bomb, next big bomb.
Because to him, it made sense.
Yeah.
But like his tunnel vision is the same reason why he made Ultron, because that nuclear bomb that he flew up in there, not only scared the living shit out of him because he's carrying his bomb, but he saw that army. He saw Thanos is what you call it.
Coming.
And so blinders. He didn't care what anybody was saying. I'm making something to put a suit around the world.
Though too. You got to think about
What'd you
that.
say now?
He was influenced too.
Yes.
Yeah, Wanda showed him
So he was
vision.
put
That
under
kind of messed him
No,
up.
hold on, I got something to say.
Go ahead.
So basically, this whole end, I watched the end of it, and basically, this is just an episode of Lucifer. Now,
He's not wrong.
Now, how I would have done it, it would have been like harkening back to the good old days. The guy was playing the hood. Misdirection. Influenced by a character that hasn't been seen in the movies since what? Age of Ultron. Ultron influenced him. And bring Ultron back. That would have been sweet if they did it like that. It would harken to the technology and also bringing a villain back into the MCU and just carry it, not really carry it on, but like go into like any forward into like he's in the background and like possibly showing up in this like Doom era or whatnot, because like that'd be kind of cool. They do that arc into it, but I think that would make a lot more sense than just throw in Mephisto, because like I mean again the whole what is your desire? It's like, dude.
So you feel like Mephisto was out of place in a way?
Very much.
Well,
Okay.
that's the thing is what you say is if it was done 3 years ago, they were probably trying to do something different.
Yeah.
Because again, what was 3 years ago? That was before Agatha. I forget how long ago.
Right around Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, so they were probably trying to put that stuff in together, and it didn't fit. Somebody screwed something up.
But here's another thing then too, because like then if you hearken to that, they do it like I said, Ultron. They could also like have it to where I mean it would make a lot of sense to do the Armor Wars because then possibly he's inside the actual Stark Tech. Because of Riri, he's already in the system, and that could launch the Armor Wars. That would make sense.
They scrapped Armor Wars.
I know they did, but I mean, that would make the whole actual feel of this movie feel like an actual like Iron, like a like an Iron Man movie, not like an Iron Man movie, but like like an Iron Tech movie or whatnot, Armor Wars. That could it could lead into Armor Wars, but who knows if they had the right script or anything like that. But like I said, Ultron being the main villain and then possibly interacting into Stark Tech because of her would make a lot more sense, because like you said, you have Obadiah Stane, who's like a half machine and all that shit. That would have been, again, makes a lot more sense than Mephisto. I really think he was out of place throughout this entire movie.
Yeah, and it looks like a couple other people feel the same way, but you want to attack what Hand of Omega saying here
about
with
Wakanda,
yeah.
Again, we actually touched on that last week. You can't have Wakanda on speed dial to solve the problem. Otherwise, there's no conflict to any show. Yeah. If you can always call on somebody else. Yes, we know this is we know this is a connected universe. But Shuri, right off the rip, said, "I cannot let you leave Wakanda with the tech that's in that suit," because she not only had her tech from making it, the design that she had vibranium and all the other stuff woven into it. Now, granted, Captain America has a vibranium suit gifted to him by the Wakandans and all that other stuff. Yes, it would be very convenient for her to just say, Shuri, give me money, give me vibranium, let me build another suit. but then there'd be no show.
And let's hold on, Sean. I'll give you to that. What incentive is there for Shuri to even do that? What, just because? Like, when has Wakanda ever done something that wasn't in the benefit for Wakanda? They're not in the habit of just handing out favors just because, right?
But it wouldn't be a favor.
Yeah, it would.
No, I helped save your city.
And again,
that's not a favor. You came to me. I was in a warehouse building, minding my own business. You came to me
and told you that this guy was after you to kill you.
That's what you said.
And it was true.
And then I helped you defeat him. You owe me.
Okay.
So if they had not, and they just let the Atlanteans just take Riri and kill her, then what?
She wouldn't have known she would have been dead.
I was gonna say this to Hannah Omega. The hood didn't have to be magic. It could, because like from what it didn't. Yeah.
What?
The hood itself. They could have used the hood as basically a technology, stealth technology.
I'm sorry, man. That's totally against what the hood is. Like, the hood has always been magic.
No.
Yes. In the Marvels, in Marvel, even the Marvel comics, when Parker Robbins, when he got that hood, he took it off a demon. It's always been magic. It's always been magic.
Not the original hood.
Yeah.
The
Parker Robbins version of the hood has always been magic. Always been magic.
I'm talking about the hood when Jarvis was the Red Hood. Remember that?
No.
Yeah, the original hood was
Jarvis. Talking about Red Hood from DC? Or are we talking about
Hood? If you go back, during the Avengers.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah.
But again, remember, this has always been about Parker Robbins. It's been him. Okay. This ain't about any other interpretations. It's about him. Really, go ahead.
I'm just going off the original one.
And that's cool.
Hear you.
You got to remember, so far in MCU, we've got the magic version of it though, because it was introduced in What If. So like they can't just keep jumping back and forth. It's like once they introduce it as one thing, it's got to stay that one thing.
I understand that. I'm just saying from my perspective, yeah, this is kind of like basic. Again, it was okay, but again, I just didn't feel like Mephisto. It didn't fit to me with the whole technology thing. That's
and I understand that. Like you don't really consider magic and technology mixing together like that. It just seemed weird as a marriage, having technology fight magic. It does seem like very implausible, but it's the same world that we have gods from other realms, aliens, superheroes, mutants, and things like that. Like
they've established magic and tech working together in Thor. They established that all the way back in Phase 1.
Like magic and technology are essentially the same thing.
Now, as grown human beings, who are familiar with lore of all types, yes, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But to your point, GQ, that's just where the MCU currently has it. But to Steve, to answer what you said, her reasoning for why she couldn't call Wakanda is because she was ashamed, not because she didn't want to call that dead end. She said because she would have to explain who she's working for and doing all this extra stuff, which to me, I don't see why she would have had to say any of that to Shuri, but that was her reasoning for not making the call, is because of what she was currently involved in.
But here's the other possibility that we're not even taking into account. Shuri right now is just the Black Panther. She's not the king of Wakanda.
Someone has access to a Cash App to send me $400,000. That's all I'm saying.
Again,
that's all I'm. Somebody over there.
M'Baku, so far as we know, just given that last credit sequence, is the king of Wakanda.
Well, then,
if he does not want, again, she's the protector.
True.
She's not in charge of all the resources. Yes, she might be the science officer. And also the Black Panther. Well, she's not in charge of everything else. And again, it's like I said, to me, if she had Wakanda on speed dial like that, there'd be no conflict for the show. Because then literally, hey, Shuri, guess what? There's this magic dude over here chasing me. Can you help me out? Do you know how quick that would be resolved if Wakanda got involved?
No, I get it. But now, Hand of Omega, I've been waiting on somebody to bring it up so I could answer it without it seeming like I have a personal gripe. Wakanda doesn't save black people, sir. They only like to save white people for whatever reason. So in that regard, that makes all the sense in the world to me.
Like that
is par for the course. You said what?
Is it like that in the comics?
Not at all. This is what we're doing.
Wakanda is Wakanda.
Yeah, I'm saying MCU MCU Wakanda doesn't save black people. They just seem to protect like Ross, and then
they
Ross,
gave
Bucky.
they gave Sam a suit capable of taking down a Red Hulk.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe because
People
they
are still mad.
Maybe because they thought it was going to Steve Rogers. It was possible going to Steve, and Sam got the package.
You really reach it on that. You
package,
think
man.
that what is his name, Katama or whatever, exists is because of what you say? Maybe it's like isn't he the new Black Panther, the white Black Panther?
Listen, man. Listen, it's not me, it's them.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a show,
What?
would you, based on the end, the likelihood of us seeing more Ironheart, in your opinion, is what?
Yeah. I think she's going to be in whatchamacallit, in Secret Wars. I think she's going to be involved in Secret Wars because why not? It's like to me, the show itself, it ran into the usual problem that a lot of shows have when it's just like, okay, we got to finish this. Damn, we got all this stuff we got to finish though. It needed 3 more episodes, in my opinion, because when they started getting into the Hood's background, it's like, bro, we should have seen this like maybe 2 episodes ago, not just now. So this needed 9 episodes, not 6, in my opinion. Just the way it wrapped up.
You felt a little rushed?
Not so much rushed, because again, it wasn't like I couldn't follow what was happening. I just think everything happened at the last 3 was just kind of like, bro, y'all could have stressed this out a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because it needs another season, because you can't ask questions and expect us to be like, because if she shows up in Secret Wars and we don't know what the heck happened,
It's gonna be the same problem.
And it was like, what's going on? What
Same problem
is she,
that Falcon and
maybe,
Winter Soldier
but like,
and,
is she? No, I don't think Falcon Winter Soldier had an issue. That kind of wrapped up this story, in my honest opinion. But this is like, okay, she has a new suit. The new suit is powered by another freaking energy source that comes with some huge cost and or consequences.
Yeah.
And what's going on? What has established her as becoming somebody who can be in Secret Wars? Because at the moment, she's not trying to be a hero. She was out there. Her suit was saving her own, but she was the Wakanda for herself. She was saving her own ass. She wasn't saving anybody. She's not out there trying to stop crime. She was like, you know what?
So she's a villain then.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right,
So
Marcus 64 brings up exactly.
Yeah.
Marcus 64 brings up exactly what I think is going to happen with her, and maybe that might be the next time we see her if they do that. But I don't think that movie comes out before Secret Wars, though.
It does not. It's not even in development, so they're not even doing it. So let me say this to wrap this up about Ironheart. So to your point about what you said about
real quick to the question you asked him, what were the numbers
of
the show? I'm saying like
people
rating
watch
wise.
I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know.
They don't
The only
release
thing
that stuff,
I know is that it, despite an early shaky start on Rotten Tomatoes, it is risen to be certified fresh.
Okay.
With all the critics.
Okay.
Now, again, Thunderbolts did too as well, and we know that didn't do very well in the theaters, right?
Oh, it didn't do well.
No.
Did it? I know it didn't.
Anyway,
Just like-
moving right along. Anyway, so what I will say about this, right, is much to your point about Riri Williams being unlikable.
But why?
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 Because
Because it was clearly done on purpose by whoever wrote it.
In this case, absolutely.
So why?
Why? I can't answer that question.
You said the book. You said the book was dying a couple of.
Because
shows
in
ago.
the books she's unlikable because she has a lot of those same hangups where she's young, she's brilliant, but she's arrogant. Because of that brilliance, nothing's too much of a challenge for her.
So who she is in the show? That's who she is in the books.
I think this is further than it is in the comics.
Gotcha.
If only because she's not dealing with Mephisto in the comics, as far as I know, right? So in the show, in the MCU, she is a very morally ambiguous, very flawed individual who comes across as extremely manipulative, willing to do whatever it takes to get her own goals accomplished. She doesn't play well with others, that type of thing.
So she's a politician. It's like, dude, again,
She's a politician.
Again, I don't understand. For me, she's likable because I understand all of that. Everything that she's doing, I get it on the base level of she's arrogant, she's narcissistic to a point. Dude, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's like, to me,
then
that's
just do it though. But she acts like she's not doing it, and she's doing it.
Right.
Like
That's
you,
how
you
it's-
would just do it.
No,
right.
absolutely.
I'm saying
But
19-year-old
again,
GQ to now. Hey, GQ, why'd you do that?
So you-
because I wanted to. Oh,
But
okay.
you saw in that one episode when she went to Xavier and was like, in episode 4, she went to Xavier and she was like, "Am I a good person?" Because she doesn't really know.
But I already knew where it was going. No, you're not.
That motherfucker didn't answer right away.
But to her,
because he knew.
right?
Yeah.
He knew.
But to her.
Yeah.
She believes in her heart of hearts that she's a good person because she doesn't see how she's affected. She's questioning it.
No, that's what I'm saying. She doesn't know that she's a good person. There's a God, it was a movie that came out. Matter of fact, it was Equalizer 3.
Hello.
Okay.
In Equalizer 3, the doctor asks him straight up, "Are you a good man?" And he says, "I don't know." And the thing is, that's the correct answer, because anybody that's actually a good person is not going to straight up say I'm good, because they're not going to think that they're good enough, because they feel that, okay, there's failings here, I didn't help this person, or whatever it may be. A narcissist, I'm good.
Yeah, Kamala was extremely like
no matter what I do, I'm a good person. To me,
is this them then purposely finishing her off?
No. So if you would say that about Riri Williams, that would be ignoring how, like, even Zelma. You could tell Zelma was a likable,
beyond
likable character. So you're asking, why couldn't they do that for Riri?
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. Everything has a purpose. For
Correct.
example, what was that young lady's name?
Zelma.
If you take the glasses off her, you think they respond better to her as Riri than the young lady that played her?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you just talking about physical appearance?
I'm just saying.
I think he's talking about just likability as a
saying
person.
as a whole. Like that, immediately, I liked her character.
Yeah.
Immediately.
But
Just
why?
got some character. What? Yeah, that great question. Why?
Because it seemed like she likable. It seemed real, and it wasn't.
She was willing,
and it wasn't annoying, and she was like it wasn't something that I see all the time, as I was saying.
But
like,
She didn't have that air of arrogance on her, though.
No.
Right, even though she was highly. I mean, she did have a little bit of arrogance.
Zelma?
Yeah.
You thought so?
I didn't. Not the same. She knew what she was doing.
Right, she was confident.
Yeah.
She wasn't arrogant.
Confidence is the arrogance.
And her mom had to freaking reprimand her on some
She
of
had
the
to
shit
reel
that
her
she was
back.
doing. 'Cause she was doing shit that Riri would have done, but in a magical term, like, I didn't tell you to make this dimension. You shouldn't be making shit like that.
Exactly.
But,
so I'm just saying, when she had the few lines that she did have, I was like, oh wow, okay, cool. It felt like a breath of fresh air to me.
Yeah.
You know,
I largely felt the same way.
But I'm saying, I'm not blaming obviously the actors, because that's how it was written.
Correct.
I'm just wondering, like, why?
I liked Riri because of her arrogance. Because again, it's the same thing that drew us to Tony Stark. Tony Stark was super arrogant. He just happened to have some charisma to go along with it.
Massive
He had
charisma.
all that charisma to go with it.
Yeah.
For sure.
She does not.
She and Tony are like this to me when it comes to their genius intellect, making them feel that they're better than. Mm-hmm.
Riri has no charisma.
Yeah, Riri has very little charisma, if any. But she still has that I'm better than, because she is.
Mm-hmm.
She's smarter than everybody else around her.
Right.
Her problem is she's not good at dealing with people.
Correct.
She's not good at dealing with consequences. She's
Yes.
not good at all. She just knows, I want to make this suit.
Mm-hmm. And she does not ask for help.
Everything,
She's not humble.
everything coming into my sphere needs to help me make this suit. That's her tunnel vision. That's her problem.
Gotcha.
Tony, if you look at Tony in the first Iron Man, arrogant as hell. We all saw it. You know, that's the character.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. But when you got down to his base form of just him by himself, what was he doing? Building stuff. Mm-hmm. That's all he was ever doing. Mm-hmm. Even the women, the Playboy attitude and all of that.
Building, for sure.
Once he was by himself, he was building stuff, tinkering with stuff. That's who he is. So with Riri, it's very similar. Yeah. She sucks as a person when it comes to dealing with
but
people.
It's the truth,
man. But
at
the end of the day, when she's by herself,
building,
right. She's a fucking genius.
Okay,
I agree with that.
Last thing I want.
Wait, but before that, I got a question.
I got a question too. So
based off what you said about I don't want to call it the negative, but when you listed her arrogance and all this other stuff that you were talking about, do you feel any differently with some of the people online that you disagree with last week? Because some of the complaints you said they had also had as well.
Refresh my memory.
Well, I mean, you kind of just said it, so I don't want to. We'll just save it for next week because I don't want to run over.
No. And we're practically there. But I did want to get this one question.
Go ahead.
Right. So, a lot of the problems people have with Riri as a character, with this show as in general, I would love for you guys to talk about: is Riri an example of poor writing? Or is this a media literacy problem?
I don't think it's poor writing. I think her character, exactly how GQ says, is that type of arrogant person who doesn't know how to ask for help, that's very single-minded when she has something put on her mind, and not very good with people. She had a very great relationship with her friend, and that friend is gone, and some people don't know how to connect real well with other people. It's just how it is.
Yeah. Not only that friend was taken from her.
Yes.
It wasn't like her friend.
Right in front of her.
It wasn't like, it wasn't like they had a falling out.
Correct.
It wasn't like they grew apart.
Right.
Gone.
Yeah, just like that.
And that was her lifeline as far as dealing with other people. Once that's gone, and her dad, her
stepdad, he died at the same time. Yeah.
Gone. Okay, F this, F people suit. That's all I'm doing.
So I think they wrote her character as it was supposed to be. People don't like it because they can't relate, and they don't want to try to relate. First off, they can't relate because some people need to be in the shoes of somebody in order to actually relate.
Yeah.
And because she's black and a woman, that right there takes some people right out of it.
Yeah.
So it's just like I sit and I see this character who's, like I said, making a lot of fucking mistakes. Hopefully we'll see her realize that. Hopefully we'll see her have that epiphany like Tony Stark had.
Yeah.
At the moment, we don't know if we're going to see that epiphany. The epiphany Tony Stark had was like, holy shit, my weapons are killing people.
Right.
Because I almost died by one of them.
Yeah.
That was it took that.
Yeah, it took an extreme, a major extreme.
And at the end of the freaking, what you call it, because you haven't seen them, I'm not going to talk about it, she made the dumbest decision that I think someone can make in order to get something that should never have happened. And there's going to be major consequences, but we probably won't see it.
King Takim's last thing that he just said is 100% right. That became her obsession with the suit, making it personal armor that she can cover everyone else with, that she loves with it. Because you haven't seen it yet. Right. That's another thing that she does with extension of her suit, so to speak. So it's like they did, to me, for the character development, it needed another 3 episodes personally.
Okay.
Just this is how I see it, because like they had a really good thing going starting off with this, then it was like, oh damn, we got to finish the show off. That's what it felt like. They're like those last 3 episodes were, like I said, they were okay, we getting into that stride.
Like we're
getting in that stride, and we got to stop at episode 6. It's like, damn, if y'all would have had to episode 9, this would have been really interesting. Because I think some people said that Mephisto felt shoehorned in. He does, because it's like you only got 6 episodes. If we would have got 3 more, if we would have had 3 more episodes of what was going on, bro, that would have been sweet. Yeah. Big Preem also with another one. She's young. She's young black female and genius. She's the epitome of I can't see myself in her shoes for most critics of the show, and we know why. Yeah. And that's 100% right.
Yeah.
It's and it's even the crew.
The crew was a waste to me.
Yeah, the crew they could have done more with, because the episode, and you'll see it in the 5th episode, it's like it felt too easy.
Yeah, and Campia at the end, that was one of his critiques when he was watching the show. He was like, what happens with the crew at the end of it when they kind of make their break, right? They're like, John was like, am I supposed to feel sympathy for them? No. No. Yeah. Like you guys have been away. It's like, I don't care. Get the hell on.
We didn't really care about them. We didn't have
whatsoever. We have no relationship with that crew. Right. Zero.
There was no real development.
Zero.
With them.
So it was just a waste. But again, I asked this because that is a common refrain. The arrogance, the unrelatability, the motivations of the character, the easiness of traipsing into crime. Is that example of poor writing, or is it just that people are complaining because they feel like they have to relate by being able to put themselves in that other person's shoes?
Some people are like that, unfortunately.
Simon says, you got anything to say in this regard?
Nope.
Oh shit, he's on his phone anyway. You over there playing solitaire like Stephen A?
Yeah.
I mean,
he said that man's over there playing Gallagher.
Yeah, right. We think we can't see you, but we can.
I think it can be both. But then I think just as a third, I just think that some people would just be like, I don't need it. And not because of the writing, not because of, like, I just, arrogance aside, genius aside, she was annoying.
Yeah, she was.
And, right. And I'm saying for some
because
people.
Because she just pissed you off, man.
And, right. So and that's what I'm saying. That's intelligence aside. And that's what I'm saying. It would be like a third example to your question is that just some people just, you know,
so
like I'd rather.
Do you have any other examples of characters in the space that pissed you off?
MCU space? Or?
No, just in general, TV space, whatever.
I mean, usually, and that's when we had the conversation off air earlier today in regards to it just seems like young. I don't know who's writing for the younger females, but they just seem to all be annoying and they don't listen. And it's
so wait. So are you saying Ayo Edeberry's character in The Bear is like that?
Oh, no, she's definitely
no. I'm not referring to her.
No, okay.
That's why I don't find her annoying.
She's not like that.
All right,
okay,
cool.
So we'll go like the show From. I know you probably haven't watched it.
I've heard of it. Yeah,
but the daughter, you know, and then there's just so
is
many.
She black?
No, she's no. It's a white. I don't know. I believe she's white.
But they write them as young and annoying. That type.
Right. You know what I mean? It's like you don't like. Yes, you're intelligent, but you don't know everything.
Right.
And
that's the problem.
Right. But for writing, again, I get it. That's what makes a show a show. But when you watch a lot of television, especially for me, I just get tired of seeing. Like, to me, it feels like lazy writing. You know,
that's another thing we keep hearing.
How do we make this happen? Okay, well, if she just doesn't listen, if GQ just turns his phone off, like I've seen that 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. You know, so I'm not nothing to do with any of the actors. I just want more. And then even last week when everybody complained about the show, you know, like it's nothing to do with like the show because it's that type of writing on most shows on television. So why they harped on this show about it, that's what was very weird to me. But that is just where we are in writing, whether, as we spoke off air, that it's just, you know, people writing and it's just youthful naiveness and then just, you know, teens or young adults not wanting to listen. I mean, but I'm tired of seeing it on television.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about it, just that teenagers, a lot of them are stupid.
100%.
And they don't want to do anything because when you get to a teenager point, mindset is they think they know everything. We've all been there. You know, at least I didn't think that because I got put in my place a lot. I don't think I knew anything. I still don't think I know jack shit about nothing. But a lot of them, I know anything. I don't need to listen to you. I can do whatever the heck I want, right? Type thing. And that is kind of like art, as they say, cliche. And I hate cliches, but I'm saying it. Art imitates life, imitates art.
Right.
And there are people out there that like that. I mean, why do you think they have the terminology YN? What do you think these guys are out there? No. They think they know everything.
100%.
And they young as shit and they don't know.
Well, no, it ain't because it's because they're out of control.
Well, why do you think they're out of control?
Right, because they are out of control.
Yeah, because some of them think that they know fucking everything, and you're not gonna tell me shit. And if you tell me shit, I'm gonna fucking, you know, do shit.
You know, Hannah Omega's got a great point. That's exactly how a lot of people felt about Michelle in the first Spider-Man movie, in the Spider-Man Homecoming. Like Zendaya's character, she was just there. She was kind of grating, annoying. She's like, you know, you're just because you're a loser and all this other kind of stuff, right?
No, but that doesn't bother me.
I got it, but you know, she was like, just why are you here? Like, you felt like. For someone like Zendaya, you felt like it was a waste of her character, right?
Okay.
Like, it was like, okay. But then in the second movie, they gave her more to do, gave her more depth and stuff like that. Third movie, they expounded upon that. And now you think of her in a very positive light, right? It seems like with Riri, she's been consistently annoying. She pisses me off. To your point, lazy writing, poor writing, however you want to put it. I think
for me,
just but I think for a lot of people, they just want things to go the way that they want them to go so they can understand and relate to it better.
For sure.
And not everything has to be that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Preem is saying a character can be designed to be unlikable or annoying. The main character from The Bear is designed to piss you off and frustrate you because he purposely bucks common sense.
And Riri does too.
I don't again, and that could be part of it. And then Hand of Omega right under it says, asking the question, was Miss Marvel annoying? Miss Marvel is annoying to a different type of personality. Because
Kamala.
Yeah, Kamala Khan is annoying to me in the sense of she's overly sweet, but that's also her charm.
Yeah, she's adorable.
Because you notice out of all of the people, like when you look at the Marvels film, she was the heart of that film only because she is that sweet.
Yeah,
she is that caring. She is she gets it from her mom. She's kind of nurturing. It's just like
she is adorable.
And listen to a degree.
Yeah. Yeah, she will listen. Yeah.
Right. And that's what
she ain't hard-headed.
But again,
she ain't hard-headed. There it is.
She's also not a genius.
True. So she's more willing to listen.
She has a different mind.
For sure.
Right. She's more willing to listen.
That's why, like I said, that's why Riri, to me, I completely understand, because it's like she feels she's better than everyone around her. So she's going to be annoying.
Was Ahsoka annoying first? Hell yeah, she was annoying at first. I hated Ahsoka when she first came. When she first showed up, I couldn't stand Ahsoka. And look at her now. She's my favorite Star Wars character ever.
So is it so if another 3 episodes, another season, they could right the ship to your point.
Well, the thing is, to me, there's a whole bunch of show left that they could have told.
Yeah.
When you'll see it,
trust me.
When you see the final 2 episodes, you'll be like, they could have stretched this out for another 3 episodes. And it would have been fine, because to me it just feels like you dropped it off at a spot.
Now he really asking the right question.
Do
Ellie, people feel Ellie is annoying? Yes, they do.
But that's not. That's about the girl. Ellie being annoying that's a very loaded question, because it has a lot to do with the person that's actually playing her, and people aren't fans of the person playing Ellie because she's not attractive and because of her personal life orientation.
That is a loaded question, but I think the way she's presented in the show,
they're bringing a lot of baggage in on
right, because that's what I'm saying.
Right,
if they cast, I don't want to say this like this, but if they cast someone better looking,
if they had the girl that was her friend in the second season as her from the beginning,
people would have pushed some of the stuff to the side.
Yeah,
I agree.
If it's one thing men like, it's 2 pretty women kissing. If it's one thing men don't like, it's an ugly. I'm sorry, I'm not.
Pretty
I'm
woman,
not
ugly one. Yeah, no, I get you. Let's not get in trouble. But yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you.
No, but I'm saying that is the issue.
Yes,
it has nothing to do. Like, they are coming for this young lady because of who she is as a person.
Yes,
and because who of Druckmann picked to play Ellie.
Correct.
That is most people's hang up.
Yeah, and
then for whatever reason, anyone who wasn't aware of the video game, they don't like Ellie because Joel is dead. So a lot of it doesn't have much.
And that's
to do
not even
with
Ellie's fault. Like, what the hell?
No, so that's what I was saying. Is she annoying? Yeah, but the reason people don't like her is because of who they cast, and that's not her fault.
But Ellie,
she's a talented actress.
But I think in a way, story-wise, and just leaving the other shit aside, I think, and you could tell me too, right? Ellie's annoying just because of, like you said, she's young, she's dumb, she don't know shit, right?
For sure.
She doesn't know better, right?
For sure.
She doesn't know better. She has this righteous indignation of what she thinks the world is like.
The first game was definitely because she was younger in the first game.
Right.
But in the second game, she was more like, I'm an adult now and I'm going to do things the way I mean, she was like that kind of in the first game anyway.
She was always off the chain.
It was 2 different types of mindsets, because she knew what Joel was doing to try to get her to the spot. Right, and she was prepared for whatever was supposed to happen. But then, as you see in the second part, she was just like, you know what? I'm an adult. I should be able to make my own decisions. You keep taking my decisions away from me, and that shit is pissing me the fuck off. Yeah. Because I should be able to, live my life how the fuck I want to live it, not you telling me or doing things to
100%.
What you call it. And so in the games, that was kind of still brought across. I didn't find Ellie annoying to me. She doesn't seem annoying at all.
She just doesn't listen.
She definitely doesn't listen in the TV show more so in the video game. Yeah, because you're playing her in the video game. She listen to every fuck I want because I'm playing fucking video game. But and what you call it? She's like, because I'm gonna do my fucking thing. This is like, look,
it's like, to me, she's the example of, like you said, just being a dumb kid.
Yeah,
like that's Ellie. How I got to Ellie.
Well, I think it's just beyond just being a dumb kid. Like, Joel's not her dad.
No.
Right.
So there's no biological tie. Yes, he saved her. Yes, he basically, in a sense, raised her
100%.
and all that other sort of thing.
That's a good point.
But you have to also remember, all of us as teenagers had that rebellious point in life
did.
where it's just like, I'm going to do my own thing
We
or
didn't
whatever.
want to listen to nobody.
We knew better than our parents all day long. That's not even her dad for real.
Right.
So she got to that age
you
with
know
a
she
guy that's
gonna
not
throw
even
that
really
at
her
him.
dad.
Yeah, she gonna throw that in his face.
say it.
Yeah,
she's gonna throw that in his face.
She's gonna double down on I need to be able to do my own stuff because you aren't even actually really my dad. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, again, it's the writing, it's the way it's handled. It's just like, and it's people literally sitting there acting like they weren't the same fucking kid at her age or whatever.
I mean, come on.
Again, and none of us
at her
can.
age, I was playing PlayStation in
Absolutely, but she doesn't have that option because
No.
the world is. So
Yeah, she played Mortal Kombat.
No, she did. But even less relatable because we're not in a post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
But it's like people are acting as if this isn't what somebody would do in that situation. It's not bad writing. That's just you don't have enough imagination to understand the show. That's just how I look at that.
Or they maybe don't have enough world experience to necessarily understand a couple of different sides of the story. Because again, like when Ellie was shouting at Joel about, it's like, you're not my dad. Stop thinking that you need to step in for me. I can understand her point, but I absolutely could see Joel's point at the same time.
Oh, of course.
Right? You know, I thought Ellie came across like a little asshole, but at the same time, I knew it.
That's
right?
That's what it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yes,
because that's what she was in the game. That's what she is.
And Preem is right. It sounds like a topic for another show.
No, absolutely.
100%. And we have run over by like 16 minutes.
Well, y'all got some bonus time.
Yeah, y'all got a whole bunch of bonus time. So thank you all for being here. Appreciate you letting us entertain you for the last hour. Again, if you want one of these great shirts, Mephisto's.
Buy one for your entire family.
Yeah, buy one for back up a little bit. Mephisto's Chicago style pizza. Just drop us a message in the comments of the video and let us know when you see this that you might want to get one, and we can make arrangements for you. It's our own design. You're only gonna find it here.
That is
extra large.
But that's what an extra large looks like, people.
Yeah, I'm a big fat guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
On that note, I'm Kinshiro. This is the Great Atakuji GQ. Simon Says is over there, and that is
Mega Sean.
We'll see you guys later. Peace out.